Welcome, executive leaders. Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling a topic that is fundamentally reshaping modern business. We're going to look at why gender-responsive procurement is no longer just a nice-to-have corporate social responsibility initiative. It is a crucial, data-backed, strategic imperative for your bottom line. I'm really excited to walk you through the strategies proving that inclusive supply chains are actually a massive competitive advantage.
Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1. The procurement gender gap. 2. Innovation and risk mitigation. 3. Brand loyalty and reputation. 4. Dismantling systemic discrimination. And 5. Embedding inclusive procurement policies.
Section 1. The procurement gender gap.
Okay, the scale of this missed opportunity is honestly staggering. Global public procurement alone is estimated at $13 trillion annually. Yet, despite this absolute tidal wave of capital, women-owned businesses access less than 1% of corporate and public spend. Less than 1%. Women are disproportionately relegated to the lowest tiers of the supply chain and lower-skilled, lower-paid jobs. That literally translates to hundreds of billions of dollars left on the table for businesses and entire economies.
And you know, this inequality doesn't just exist outside your walls, it extends internally too. Women hold only 5% of the top-level supply chain positions in Fortune 500 companies. Think about that for a second. The very departments managing, on average, 64% of a company's total enterprise spend are overwhelmingly male-dominated. We simply can't expect diverse, inclusive external procurement if the internal teams making those purchasing decisions lack representation. It's like trying to solve a giant puzzle with half the pieces missing.
Section 2. Innovation and risk mitigation.
Look, relying on the same homogeneous suppliers over and over again locks your company into unnecessary risk and stagnation. It's risky, but a diverse supply chain, that creates agility. Fostering supplier diversity naturally spurs competition on both price and service levels. It lets your company procure specialized products or critical services much faster. Plus, women's suppliers bring a unique understanding of the women's market, which grants you faster access to brand new consumer needs.
And the numbers absolutely back this up. Female-founded businesses actually outperform those founded by men by a massive 63%. On top of that, companies in the top quartile for board gender diversity are 27% more likely to overperform financially. We even see this play out in longitudinal studies from New Zealand, where firms with female board representation showed more independent decision-making and capitalized way faster on market growth. Diversity isn't just about optics, it's simply good business.
Section 3. Brand loyalty and reputation.
Now, let's talk about your customers, because the modern consumer's mindset is shifting fast. A Nielsen survey reveals that 66% of global consumers, both men and women, will happily pay a premium for products and services from companies that are committed to positive social impact. Consumers today are actively holding companies accountable for what their subcontractors do, so your supply chain is literally a public reflection of your corporate values.
When consumers know you support women-owned businesses, they take action. 78% will try your product, 80% will show increased brand loyalty, and this one is wild. 50% will actually give your company a second chance if a product falls short of their initial expectations. That kind of grace from a customer is a real game changer. Engaging in gender-responsive procurement is a powerful tool to refine your value proposition and really supercharge your marketing.
Section 4. Dismantling systemic discrimination.
Beyond the balance sheet, aligning your procurement with foundational international agreements like the UN Guiding Principles for Business and Human Rights and the ILO conventions has a massive social impact. Sourcing from women actively starves systemic discrimination of its power. When you mandate a diverse supply chain, you are actively dismantling the male-dominated power dynamics that so often underpin workplace discrimination and abuse globally.
Which brings us to this powerful realization. By leveraging your purchasing power, you aren't just buying goods. You are giving women-owned enterprises exposure to vital business networks, high-value markets, and sustainable revenue streams. You are quite literally funding equality. You're transforming your suppliers into your future customers and creating a ripple effect that uplifts entire communities.
Section 5. Embedding inclusive procurement policies.
So how do we actually do this? Transforming your procurement process requires a focus on 3 core pillars: people, policy, and practice. It starts right at the top with leadership and trickles all the way down to how you actually pay your vendors.
People.
You've got to proactively recruit diverse talent and explicitly embed gender-responsive functions right into your purchasing job descriptions. And yes, this includes the Chief Procurement Officer. Making managers accountable by tying gender equality key performance indicators directly to their assessments ensures this doesn't just become some forgotten side project, it becomes their actual job.
Moving to policy. Well, you can't improve what you haven't measured, right? You need to run a thorough baseline study of your supply chain to find out the current ratio of women-owned enterprises you work with and the real value of those contracts. This is absolutely crucial for identifying roadblocks and establishing a robust, gender-sensitive code of conduct for both your firm and your partners. Finally, in practice, it's time to take actionable steps. First, cut the red tape. Standardize your application process so smaller women-owned businesses aren't boxed out by unnecessarily cumbersome paperwork. Amend your selection criteria to actually award target shares, typically anywhere between 5 and 30%, to preferred gender-responsive firms. And crucially, update your payment terms. Offer prompt payment, ideally under 30 days, because for small businesses, cash flow is everything.
Now, if you're sitting there wondering if this actually works at scale, it absolutely does. Industry leaders are proving it right now. IBM has a 125-year history of workplace inclusion and actively targets a 50-50 gender balance, which they tie directly to improved organizational outcomes. Walmart is another great example. They implement robust policies that actively tackle systemic workplace barriers, things like imposter syndrome and maternity challenges, to make sure women are fully prepared for advancement into leadership and specialized supply chain roles.
Integrating women into your supply chain is not a charity initiative. Let's be clear about that. It is an unparalleled, data-backed opportunity to mitigate business risk, drive product innovation, increase our brand loyalty, and lead the market. The global procurement market is worth trillions, and the time to audit and upgrade your strategy is right now. So I'll leave you with this. If your current supply chain isn't inclusive, are you truly maximizing your company's potential? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.